Okay, it's recording. Hello, everybody. Today is, and I'm going to have to look at my watch again, August 19th. And I'm Rochelle Zinzin, and I'm a Superstar Director for the group. This is us sharing Scents. And tonight, me and some of my directors are going to be talking about the incentive, some of our aha moments, some of us that have earned trips. I have one director that was going to speak tonight, and she is very sick with bronchitis, a throat infection, like she is not doing good at all, so she can't talk. She sent me a text, so I'm going to kind of read a little bitty bit of what she was going to talk about. For anybody on this call tonight that has never earned an incentive trip, maybe you've been with Scentsy for a long time and you haven't earned one. So that's what I'm going to be talking about from her. This would be from Nicole. And then also maybe a plan on what you need to do to earn the incentive trip. Now, we won't be breaking down how to earn it, making plans for everybody on the call, because that would take way too long. But basically, the first steps that you need to do to even think about having a plan to earn the incentive trip. So I'm going to start. Again, I said earlier, my name is Rochelle Zinzin, and I just kind of wanted to talk about, I've earned multiple trips with Scentsy. I've earned some for just myself. I've earned some for my husband and myself. One of the first trips, when I first signed up, I do want to say this. When I first signed up with Scentsy, I wasn't even looking at the incentive trip because honestly, I thought only the people high up could earn the incentive trip. That was my way of thinking. Like, I wasn't even looking. I remember, I think it was a trip. It was to Canada, but I don't remember where. I just remember seeing it, never looked at anything on how to earn it, didn't even try to earn it. And now looking back, I probably was close. Maybe, I don't even know because I didn't even look. Because again, I think a lot of people, when they sign up, they think, oh, no way, I'm brand new, I could ever earn the trip, and they don't even try. I've been there and done that. So if you are new, just know I've had people that are brand new earn a trip for them and their spouse. They signed up in like August or July and then earned the trip for two people. So it is earnable. All these trips are earnable. You can be a brand new essential consultant and you can totally earn this incentive trip. And speaking of the incentive trips, I had a couple of people earn it this year and they got to go to Disney World. And I don't know if they're on the call, maybe they can speak later, but when Scentsy does an incentive trip, you get like the red carpet treatment. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, they do everything. It's all out. Like, if you get to go to Disney World, it's something that you would never be able to do at Disney World with just you and your family. To go Scentsy style is unbelievable. I took my daughter when she was younger, and it was years ago, but I remember she went to the, what's it called? The Bippity Boppity Boutique or whatever. And we still have pictures, but we had like a private dinner. I mean, she got to see the characters. Another trip that I had earned is Hawaii. So when me and my husband got married, we couldn't afford to go on a honeymoon. I'm just being completely honest. And Hawaii was one of the places that we would have loved to have gone. Like, that was my dream vacation. Well, I earned it, and I earned it for two. And so I was able to take us both. And Hawaii was the first trip I had ever earned. And it was amazing. Like, just meeting people, getting to talk to Heidi and Orville, so many people, and just the dinners and the all the things that Scentsy did. Like, every trip that I've been on, I just can't tell you enough how amazing these trips are. Like, you really want to try to earn the trip. Another place that we went was Italy. That was a bucket list vacation destination. And Italy was, I really wanted to go with my husband. I didn't want to go by myself. It was the buildings, the things that we got to see. The cruise boat we were on was like the biggest cruise boat, I think, and it had just been opened up when we got to take this amazing cruise, and all the pictures, just crazy. It's hard to explain in words until you go on a Scentsy incentive trip and you get to see how amazing it is. But one of the other things that I wanted to point out as well is the trips are amazing. They are something that you want to earn. The other thing I wanted to point out is I'm guilty at this, and I literally was just guilty at this with this incentive trip that was just released in August, the Alaska cruise. My daughter, someone was asking me, Jennifer was asking me earlier, my daughter plays select softball. So for me in the summer, I hardly can go anywhere because she's fixing to be a junior. And so our summers, each year she gets older, we're busier and busier and we can't go places. Like this last year, I earned Disney. I took a cash buyout because I knew I wasn't going to be able to go because of her softball. I really, with the Alaska cruise. So when it first got said and they released the information, I was kind of like, I mean, I don't really want to try to earn it. I'm not going to be able to go because she's got softball. And I don't want to go to Alaska without my husband. So then I kind of had this mindset of like, like I kind of put it on the back burner. If I'm just being honest with y'all. And then I thought, wait a minute, like I could totally earn if you don't go on the Alaska cruise and you get the 25,000 points, you could go to Reunion. I don't have to take, and the reason why I didn't want to go to Alaska, the cruise, was because I couldn't take, me and my husband both couldn't go. And then my daughter would have no way to get to her tournaments. So I was kind of like, well, then I thought Reunion would be great because my husband could stay here, take her, and I could go to Reunion. And now my mindset is either way, I want to earn this incentive trip. Like I'm kicking out the negative thoughts of, nah, it's not a place that I want to go. Because sometimes that can be the case too. Maybe they release an incentive trip and you're like, I don't really want to go there. But it's the connections that you make when you go to these destinations, whether it's somewhere you want to go or not. Now I'm thinking about taking my son, he's 22. I was supposed to take him to Bermuda and then it got canceled because of COVID. So he keeps asking me like, hey, when are you going to have another incentive trip? And I'm like, so if I don't if I don't use Reunion, I can take him. My husband can stay here and take Marissa to softball. So it's literally a mindset of whatever you do, just try to earn the incentive. And see, I didn't change my views. So I'm literally looking, that's why I'm doing this, because I'm trying to look at all of y'all like y'all are looking at me. That's why my head is going all over the screen. But you just really want to try to earn the incentive because the aha moments, the way that Scentsy goes all out for us that earn these trips. And these trips are a really good way to build your business. They do these trips the way they do them for us to build our business. They have them geared that if you're recruiting and you're selling, you're building a business for your future. And the gist of it is just how amazing these trips are. I got sidetracked. They're just amazing. The trips are very amazing. And Michelle, I'm trying to find where you are. Michelle, do you want to speak next? Because I know you have earned an amazing trip. I was talking about Hawaii. Well, I will let Michelle speak now.
Hi, I'm Michelle. There is nothing like earning an incentive trip. Nothing. And I'm going to tell you real quick, I am a nervous wreck being on here. This is totally out of my comfort zone. So, hi. Anyway,
I'm proud of you, Michelle. I'm very proud of you.
I haven't got through it yet. So I joined Scentsy in November of 2011. And then I earned my first incentive trip in in July of 13. So I went to Hawaii in 2013, and but when I earned it, I think we found out back then in January, I guess, or February when we earned it. All I remember is Teresa, Rochelle, everybody being on the computer, stalking the workstation because we had several trips that we could choose from. And they went to Whistler, Canada. Yep. And my sponsor was supposed to go to Hawaii with me, but she was out dealing with her dogs or something. And she ended up going to Whistler because Hawaii was gone. And so I ended up going to Hawaii with a couple other girls, Melissa Fisher, and one of the girls I'd never met in my life. And she ended up being my roommate. And I was scared to death because I'm one of them people, I like to know everybody and who I'm rooming with, just who I'm going with. But we had the most amazing time. I'd never been to Hawaii. It was on my bucket list. It was intentional. I was trying to earn it, did not think I would ever earn it. And I did. And I think I was in shock until I actually got there because I couldn't believe that I was actually going. But Scentsy flew us to Los Angeles, and then we flew from Los Angeles to Hawaii. And we were met at the airport with Lay's and big Scentsy signs. Do you remember that? That was the most amazing feeling, getting off of the airplane, going inside and seeing Scentsy everywhere. And got to the hotel room. We stayed at Waikiki, and we had room drops, dinners, luau's, meet and greets. We got to choose excursions. So we went on a Jeep ride. We rented a Jeep while we were over there, and got pulled over like 2 minutes after we got in the Jeep because the driver of our Jeep had a phone in her hand, and you could not have a phone in your hand. And we had no clue because we'd never been to Hawaii before, but we had the most amazing time over there. And the friend, my roommate, is to this day a very, very good friend of mine. We met tons of people. That's the first time I'd ever met Amy. And I mean, all those friendships from Hawaii, there was 900 of us over there. And in the picture, we're all on the front row of the picture. So, but there was excursions, the friendships that we made, the carpet treatment. We had an amazing time. And then the following year, I earned the trip to the Bahamas for 2014. And due to stuff I had going on with the family and stuff, I was unable to go. I was heartbroken. But Scentsy was amazing, and they offered, you know, they didn't want me to lose out, and they offered a payout back at that time. But let me tell you something, there is nothing like going on a trip and earning a trip. Would I ever do a payout again? I'm going on that trip, and I am working on next year's. So I hope to see y'all all there.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Oh, one other thing, Rochelle, when I came back from Hawaii, I was so revved up that I made director in November. So that's what it does for you.
No, that's amazing.
When you said that.
Yes, and that happens to so many people. And I want to bring up the fact when you talked about the cash buyout. So here for the past 2 years, since, you know, because of COVID last year, we didn't get to go on the trip, so we got a cash buyout. That was the first time I had ever taken an actual cash buyout. And getting the cash buyout, just like she just said, does not compare at all to going on an incentive trip, actually being there in person and meeting those people and making those connections and experiencing the way Scentsy does the trips. I have a downline under me that's earned the past 2 years of she was a brand new consultant, earned her first incentive trip, and it was to Bermuda when COVID hit and they had to cancel it. So she had to get a buyout. And then she earned last year's to Disney and took a buyout as well. So I just feel I can't wait for her to go on an actual incentive trip, because all she's had is the buyout. And like for this year, the one for Bermuda that was canceled, like I bought office furniture for my office. And yes, I understand sometimes people, you know, they can't go for certain reasons. But if you are a new consultant and you've earned the incentive trip and you've taken the cash buyout, your mind will be blown when you go on an actual incentive trip, and you'll be like, wow, like what we're saying, it doesn't compare. You'll be blown away at how amazing these trips are. And everyone's the same. Like, I can't repeat that enough, because I know I hear it all the time of people thinking, oh, I'm new, or only the higher ups earn these trips. And that is so not true. Like Scentsy does these trips so we can all earn the trips. Thank you for speaking, Michelle. I am going to, Nicole Moore was who was going to speak. She has been a consultant for, I don't have her join date right in front of me, but she has been a consultant for a long time. She's been a director for a long time. And she really wanted to talk to y'all about, she's sick, for those of y'all that just got on and she can't talk, like her throat's hurting and she's like super sick with bronchitis. So she sent me a short text, kind of like a summary of what she was going to say. But she really wanted to get the point across that even though she's been a consultant for a long time and she hasn't earned a trip, that's okay. Do not think that you're any less of a consultant because you haven't earned a trip. Things happen. That's life happens, and that's okay. So don't be so down on yourself and think, man, I've been a consultant for this long and I haven't earned a trip. What am I doing wrong? Make a plan from the get-go and just get your mindset on track to earn this trip. So I don't like to read off of something, but I'm literally going to read because this is what she was going to say. So I'm reading right now. Sorry, y'all, but this is exactly what she was going to say. This is from Nicole Moore. Hey guys, I'm sorry I couldn't be on. I'm sick and I can't talk. I want you to know if you are thinking of working for this trip, whether it be a cruise or reunion registration or reunion full out, you can do this with a plan. I personally have earned reunion registration many times and it was a relief. If you are seasoned and feeling like you never have and probably never will, stop. I used to think like that too, but you have to ask yourself first, do I really want this? If so, which one am I going for? And then make a plan. If you are new and it seems so unattainable, stop. There are plenty of people around you that were new and did it. The thing is figuring out if you are willing to do the work. Take the overall plan and break that down. Break it down to daily dollar amounts and people. It's a numbers game. Anyone can earn an incentive. It just comes down to your why and your want. So basically, that was a summary of what she was going to say. But the overall is that basically anyone can earn this trip, and don't shoot yourself down if you haven't earned a trip. Just make a plan to earn this incentive trip, because the Alaska cruise sounds amazing and it's another place kind of on my bucket list. So anyone can earn this trip, just make a plan. Okay, Teresa, it's your turn. I'm going to mute myself.
All righty. My name is Teresa Atkins, and I am a director as well. I became a consultant in November of 2008, so I'm coming up on year 13. Lucky number 13, right? I have earned 3 summer incentives, and they were 3 years, 1, 2, 3, right in a row. And then it was a big lull for the summer incentives. I haven't earned a summer incentive since then. I've earned a leadership cruise and whatnot, but I was sitting there thinking the other day when we were told that we had this topic, and I was just sitting there and I was looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously, I have not earned a summer incentive since I'm looking on the wall because I have everything like up on the wall. The Whistler trip was my last one. So my first one was the Magical Memories Disney World one. And with that one, we could buy in our family even if we didn't earn them. And so the one thing I could say that Scentsy had done there were conventions at the time, was at the end of every convention, kind of like how they did on our virtual SFR, they tell us about the incentive trip, like at the end of a session. Well, at the end of each, the end of reunion, as we were walking out, we're all fired up and we're headed home, they would give us some kind of little trinket that was designed to sit on our desk, sit somewhere out in front of us to remind us, why we're working our business hard in the fall, why we're doing this. And so I want to say, I have this, and I think this is the one from Disney. I think they gave us a Pluto, I believe. Either that or I just found it. But anyway, I had this on my desk. I can't remember. I know they've given us a hula girl for the Hawaii incentive. And I don't know, I can't couldn't find it last minute. But, so I had that and I set it on my desk, and that was my reminder when, when I was making excuses. I want to go see Pluto with my family, I want to go see Pluto with my family. Another year, they simply gave us a pin for going to the Hard Rock Cafe. Oh my gosh, in Punta Cana. That was an amazing trip. That was probably one of my favorites. Oh, well, they're all my favorites, but the beaches were beautiful. And, and the nice thing about when they offer us trips, down, like this one in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and whatever, the places that they've picked in the past, or at least some of them, are all inclusive. So you know how Rochelle was talking about, and Michelle, the red carpet treatment. They're not lying. It is, you get luggage tags before the trip. You have specific luggage tags, signifying the trip. They pay for your airfare. You've got the shuttle afterwards to the hotel. They greet you at the hotel. A lot of times the hotels are like the ones down south were all inclusive. So, you could pick from all the restaurants there. All the entertainment there was all covered. They do cover usually like one excursion outside of the hotel. There's parties. There's dinners, there's tons of entertainment, but they cover it all, and then a lot of times especially if it's not an all-inclusive place like Disney World, they give you a voucher. They load up your Scentsy pay card and you've got extra money. I remember I did earn another one since then. Hello, I earned Marco Island a year ago. My gosh, COVID, right before COVID. So that would have been 2019. So I earned that one. And I remember, because it was down in Florida, we had a pay card. But again, I remember being at the end of the trip, we had a pay card, and I want to say we had like money through the hotel or something. And I remember at the end of the trip going, oh my gosh, I've got to buy something because I've got this leftover money. And, there's just there's so much. The other thing that I just look forward to every day, because, your days are packed full of fun, right? You've got stuff, even if it's just lazy fun, laying out on the beach, whatever, having a party, whatever. Every time when you come home at night on the full incentive trips, they've done room drops, and sometimes it is kind of a remembrance of the day. Sometimes it's a clue to what you have the next day. Like all I can think of instantly is the Disney World. So before the day we had at the water park, the room drop was beach towels, Disney beach towels for everybody in my family. All of us that I had paid for and everything, we all got a beach towel, and I still have those. We still use those to this day. One night before the final dinner, there was a full like scroll with Cinderella's slipper, inviting us to the final ball, per se. Then they gave us a photo album where all we had to do was add our pictures to it. It was like a scrapbook type. We had a stuffed animal and everything. And the other super duper, really duper, really uber duper cool thing is sometimes you're lucky enough to be on an incentive trip right before a brand new product, and you get the product in your hand all to yourself before everyone else. When I went to Marco Island, that was just before the wall fan diffusers came out. So one of our room drops, we came in and they had them all plugged in the bathrooms with a pod in there just for us. And so it was me and my roommate, so we had two of them. So super duper. The payouts are nice, but similar to SFR, watching something online or taking that payout is not near. You can't even imagine it being there in person. So, you know, and my kids have memories of that Disney trip. I've got memories there. I was able to, this was, I think, one of the trips, you know, went, you know, four-wheeling through the mud somewhere. Oh my gosh, I lost my brand new, my watch. It's all good. But it was so much fun. I got to take my best friend from college days. I got to have her, she lives in Florida. I got to bring her as a guest. But anyway, I wanted to kind of go on here real quick, just to give you a little boost to get you started in thinking about what you need to do for this trip. Because what I have noticed is those years that I didn't sit and actually write down a plan, you know, it's going to look all pretty at the beginning. And by the end of the incident trip, if you're really working on it, it is going to be a sheet of hot messness. So that's what I just kind of want to go through what I've started to do for myself for this trip. So this flyer is actually on the workstation. It's kind of got tiny me. I need bigger, but it gives you the gist. This flyer has been floating around, you know, just for the color trackers, but you know, these are solely designed just to keep track of the points that you've already earned, right? You need something written separately how to get these points. You know, some people are Excel spreadsheet people, some people, you know, have these elaborate forms. I just grab a piece of paper. A lot of times it's the back of something, it's whatever I have handy, and I just start writing. So I go to, if you haven't already done so, go to the incentive tab of your workstation and just open up the part that says how to earn. And so you're going to see how to earn points. And then that's when you're going to start making a plan where, I mean, I kind of went through each spot, and this is what I do pretty much every single time. I look first, okay, PRV. So this runs from August through January, right? So I sit there and on my paper, I'll just write August, September, October, November, December, January. And then then I'm going to write how many points I'm planning. Then I put underneath that, because you get the PRV consistency, which is 2,500, right? And that's for doing 1,000 or more in 5 out of 6 months. So knowing that as a given, all 6 months, even though we only need 5, all 6 months are a given 1,000 PRV a month, because you never know when something's going to come out and oops. And you don't want to end up come January with 2 oopsies and not be able to hit it. So, you know, start with your PRV, and you can kind of look at previous years or whatnot, but you know, you can even just start with 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 down the line. Then the next thing on the list, and it's going to close up on me if I don't click something. Okay. Is personal promotions. This is where, like Rochelle was saying, this is designed for everybody. And, you know, those people that sit there and jump on and say, you know, I'm new, this is going to be harder for me. Those superstar directors, they got it easy. Scentsy has designed the incentives with a special spot for personal promotions. And it is your first time. You get those points when you have a month where you promote to it for the very first time. So if you promoted beforehand to superstar director, guess what? In the incentive, you can't get any personal promotion points, because that is the highest. And so those people that are brand spanking new, that are sitting at Essential, holy cow, the points that you can rack up. People that are at Lead, at Star, there's so much potential in the points. I mean, certified 1,000, Lead another 1,500, Star 2,000, Superstar 3,000, Director 5,000 points, and you can do that with this amazing catalog. You know, it's totally doable. So then figure out what you think that you could reasonably promote to. You could put those points down. And then they call it activity bonus. This is I love that they do this, because you get points on how you are paid every month. So let's say you're a superstar consultant, and this month, and the 1 month you fall short and you're paid as a star. Well, sometimes, I want to say in the past, you didn't get any points, but this time you get paid where you're at. So you might not get superstar consultant points, but you're still going to get star points. And that's for all 6 months of the incentive. So you can sit there and kind of think about that. If you happen to have any consultants that are directly under you, your frontline, that are still sitting at Essential, and they signed up before August 1st, you get points for that. You get 250 points. And then nice and simple, I said 250 when they go certified. Yeah. So then nice and simple, you are looking at your frontline. Anytime your new frontline or old frontline, well, new frontline sponsored after August 1st, if they go certified, they get 1,000 points. They go lead, they get 1,000 points. Star, you get another 1,000 points. You know, anytime your frontline promotes, you're going to get 1,000 points. I mean, and those points are just going to start. If you're really, really, really working with your team, you know, working with those people directly under you and helping them to work with their people underneath them, those points will start, you know, adding up. Because in order for them to, because in order for you to promote, you can't promote without your team promoting, right? So you work with your team, get them promoting, and then that in turn will help you to promote. So the last thing I just want to add, which is something that you can just quickly write down, and this is something different that I did with that August special of the join anytime in August and earn your shooting star kit, even if you join August 31st and you don't reach your shooting star until, you know, 15 days later into September, they will still earn their shooting star kit for free. I made a list of all these people. I think I made 25 just to start when I was just writing it out really quick, who I want to help get that shooting star kit for free. And, you know, who wouldn't want all that stuff for free? I mean, seriously, if they sign up and they do 500 PRV, $300 worth of product is going to be returned back to them for free. Plus, they're going to have all their rewards from that party. So take that, you know, helping as many people as you can with that, earn that shooting star kit and help them to find new people. That is going to help their numbers, which is in turn going to help your numbers, which is, you know, going to get you on that cruise or to SFR. I think that's about it. Holy cow. It's a lot to spit out in a few minutes.
Thank you, Teresa, very much. I love your energy and your excitement. And I hope y'all saw, like, just speaking of incentive trips, it's just, I don't know, by a show of hands, I'll try to scroll really quickly because I probably should have asked that when the call started and I forgot. Raise your hand if you've earned and if you've been on a Scentsy incentive trip. I'm going to scroll and look. A lot of people's videos are off, so that's probably not going to work. Teresa, I see that you earned one. They might be putting it in the chat box.
Oh,
so,
I see.
Oh,
Stephanie.
I see hands. Oh, I see hands. They're doing it the Zoom way. Okay. So really quickly, just to kind of go over the first thing first, I have done a couple of coaching calls, and on my coaching calls, to make it very simple to make a plan out. Just like what Teresa talked about, she went into the details of how to earn the points. First things first, when you're starting to do this and you make a plan, you need to just literally take a piece of paper. I do the same thing Teresa does. I usually find a blank piece of paper that's actually got something on the other side of it, and I just grab it and write stuff on it. And I don't have it in here, or I would show you my plan that I wrote. Literally write sponsoring, non-sponsoring, 2 columns, draw a line down the middle, start from there, because you have to have 4,000 to earn level 1 of this trip. You have to have 4,000 sponsoring points. and a total of 25,000 points total, but minimum 4,000 sponsoring. So start with that. Literally, that's what you start with. And then you go, just like Teresa said, month by month, you write down what your PRV, what your planned PRV is for August through January. And then you'll have points for that. Write down, go through your front line. You get just as many points on your front line promoting as you do a new recruit hitting certified. It's the same amount of points. It's 1,000 or it's 1,000. The last incentive trip, we did not get points on anyone promoting to superstar consultant. This trip, they're given 1,000 points for people to promote to superstar consultant. So literally start your list by those two columns and just go and say, okay, who on my front line? Start with your front line. This is how you start a plan. Who on your front line can promote to lead? Who can promote to star? Who can promote to superstar? You can have previous consultants that signed up before August. If you have multiple of those, 250 points add up. If you've got 3 or 4 consultants that didn't hit certified for the summer Grow with the Flow incentive, they can hit certified now. You get 250 points. Then go from there and say, okay, you know, who can hit lead? Do that. Then go based on, okay, do you think you can promote during this incentive trip? If you're getting your front line to promote, because like Teresa said, you're not going to promote unless your team is promoting. That's just the way it works. I'm like, to stay promoting and keep promotions going on. So see if you think you can promote during the incentive. And if you can, you write those points down. So you kind of have a guide ahead of time of what you need to be. So if you write it out and you look at your sponsoring and your non-sponsoring and you're like, oh, I'm short, I'm only going to end up with 20,000 points, you know, then, okay, where can I increase? You can increase on your PRV. You could increase on getting new people to join you, because remember, you got to have 4,000 points. So just remember that. And those non-sponsoring points, I mean, non-PRV, I said non-sponsoring, those can come from frontline promotions and your new recruits. So you can get those 2 different ways. So just make sure you're tracking that. And as long as you're tracking it from the beginning, I know sometimes, just like Teresa said, on the trips that I haven't earned a couple of trips, I don't remember how many I've earned. My memory's horrible. So like listening to Teresa and Michelle talk about different things on trips, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that now. But when I didn't make a plan from the beginning, or if I had a mindset like I talked about earlier, like, oh, I don't really want to earn this one, I don't want to go there, or something's, you know, I won't be able to go. Make a plan from the beginning. That makes all the difference in the world on earning these incentive trips, is just having a plan and simplifying it so it doesn't get overwhelming, and just knowing, okay, this is how I got to start. This is what I need to do. And to also think every day, I can earn this trip. I can totally earn this trip. And find something, because I forgot about those little trinkets Scentsy used to give us at reunion. I completely forgot about them. And that made all the difference in the world. The little hula girl, it's in my other office sitting on top of a warmer. But find a trinket from Alaska. Go on Amazon, get something really cheap. Find something that will remind you every day that you want to earn this incentive trip. And when you're not feeling like doing something, or you're wanting to be lazy one day, have that trinket. Make your screensaver on your phone a picture of Alaska. Bam, it's there. Everyone has their phone all day long. Make that your screensaver so that you see it every day, all day. And it's like, oh, I want to earn that trip. Or get the picture, word swag or whatever. I'm going to earn the trip. Like, I will be in Alaska. Put those words on that picture. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And then if anyone has questions, y'all can go ahead and